You are now tuned in to the Addicted to Success.com podcast, where geniuses, entrepreneurs, and next-level game changers share their juicy little secrets on achieving massive success. This is the advice you wish you heard years ago. Be prepared and take note as we expose the realness and the raw of what it takes to be successful on AddictedToSuccess.com.
So Prince EA, congratulations on all your online success. I remember seeing one of your videos actually come through on my Facebook feed, which is why I got rid of most of my friends. And it's a great video, great advice that you share there about, negative friends and not letting this negative energy get to you. And it's funny because a lot of people that create these motivational, inspirational videos, you see they're kind of like one-hit wonders. Like they'll do one really good one, and then they won't really release anything for a long time or just ever again. So, and what's funny is like every day my newsfeed was getting hammered with all your videos that were coming out, and I saw you on Twitter, I saw you on other websites with your "Can We Autocorrect Humanity" video and that "Why I Think This World Should End" video.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I'm really interested in how you were able to achieve a lot of this success and get this much exposure online. So it'd be awesome to delve in that today and really find out what it takes to be successful online and get that kind of exposure. And also just, an understanding of your backstory of where you came from and what you have to offer the world. So Prince EA, welcome to the Addicted to Success podcast.
Yeah.
And thanks a million for joining us today.
Oh, man. Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to kind of get straight into the backstory. So if you could fill us in on how you came to be.
Got you. Well, I was a rapper for about 8 years. I'm still a rapper. And then I got tired. I got bored of it. I wanted something new, something that actually could fulfill me. Even though I love rapping, I love, doing what I did, but it just wasn't enough. It was too much competing and competition and comparing. So I went on a journey, a spiritual journey. I took a break from hip hop. And, I tried to figure out, who am I? Who is this being, inside of this body? Who is this entity that looks out of these eyes? Who is that? I always felt like there was a spiritual element of my existence that I never really tapped into. So I went on this search. I didn't go to any type of cave in the Himalayan mountains or anything and study with Dalai Lama. I didn't do any of that. I just looked in and I studied a little bit from guys like Thich Nhat Hanh and Mooji and Ajahn Brahm. He's in Australia, but so I studied these guys and I started learning more and more and looking inward, and I realized that life is short. Life is short. You never really know when your last breath is going to be. So we have to make the most out of every single moment. And so the first thing that I created, once I kind of came to this realization, was why I think this world should end. And that came out of me just thinking about death. If I'm going to die, which is totally possible, what do I want my last piece to be? And what came out was love. Compassion, planting seeds of goodness and kindness to the world. And that's all I want to do now is just help people, just help the world. And I think that's what really led to the success. And I kind of stopped comparing and competing. I stopped trying to be something and I just decided to be me. And that's it. And I just created things that were, socially observant. I want to help people with different things like letting go of pain, fear, anger, anxiety, things like that, things that I've dealt with, things that I'm still dealing with, and I give people tips on how to overcome or how to live with them, how to love these things, and it seems to help. People seem to be receiving it very well, and that's it.
Beautiful, man, beautiful. And I love that you switch lanes. You know, you were in the lane of just being a rapper.
Yeah.
Then you found that this isn't like 100% truly fulfilling, so you decided to switch lanes. And you know what? I hear this story over and over again where people just decide in that moment, they're like, I want to find that thing that fills the cup. And yeah, it sounds like you found it, man. You found where your strengths are and where your talents lie. So
Yeah.
No, congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So you have more than right now. You have more than 150. I think you have like 151,000 something subscribers on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of your videos had something like 2 million views on that why I think the world should end video.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is the key here? Like, apart from creating the good content, like, do you promote your videos, or do you have like a network that you put your videos out to?
Yeah, everything is organic. You know, I promote, you know, on Facebook, mostly Twitter, YouTube. I mean, I've built my YouTube audience, you know, from 8 years ago, and I was always interested in how to get my message out there to people. You know, I'm just a regular kid in the north side of St. Louis. You know, who's going to listen to me? How can I make people listen to me or see me? So I studied, you know, how to create viral content. And, you know, back then when I was a rapper, I was creating things that might have been funny or might have been, you know, something that people could not really relate to, but it was just shareable content, funny or cute or, you know, things like that. And now I feel like I took my strategies and use it to create positivity. You know, how can I reach the most amount of people with a positive message, which could potentially galvanize an individual to look within themselves or to be positive, to change their worldview. So I had a bunch of strategies, man. I've gone viral in the past. You know, I like Backwards Rappers, which was released a couple years ago. That I think just reached over 1 million views. I had some parodies that had 2 million views. But recently, yeah, I mean, the Why I Think This World Should End, that got 2 million. The How Can We Autocorrect Humanity, I think that's at about 9 million on YouTube, which is incredible. You know, I think that relatability is what does it. Title, you know, thumbnail. It's really a series of strategies that you use. But when it comes down to it, I think that what comes from the heart reaches the heart. You know, if you create a pure message without thought of really profit, if it isn't your main motive to getting this message out, I think people will gravitate towards it. And that's what kind of, you know, my message is, or my success is kind of shown.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, you're focusing on following your heart and also delivering quality and staying consistent with it. And I think this is the biggest thing that I find a lot of people don't understand about success is it's mostly like focus on the quality, right? Mm-hmm. And fine tune it along the way and stay persistent. Like keep putting content out. Keep doing it. Like with Addicted to Success, I mean we've had over 55 million views now over the last 3.5 years. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people ask me, how do I create a successful blog? And it's like it's the same thing, man. Quality and consistency.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
And the easiest way to be consistent is to be you. You know, you're not gonna be consistent if you're trying to be something else. That's resistance, that's struggle. So the easiest way is just to be you, consistent, and it's effortless. Then it's just so easy. So yeah,
totally. Yeah, you got it, man, 100%. So you cover a few different subjects within your channel itself, and I think a few of them that really stand out, and I think that a lot of people need the advice on is the idea of getting rid of stress. So I know a lot of people suffer from stress, and it can be a major killer. It can really kill your productivity and your overall health. So what would your advice be with dealing with stress?
Yeah, I mean, stress is not out there. Stress is inside. There are no stressful situations. We become stressed because of how we interpret situations. So if you change your interpretation, you change the stress. You can effectively get rid of the stress. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. If you start to see success as a challenge instead of as a threat, stress is removed. But that comes when you're in alignment with what you want to do, with who you are really. But stressful situations, they happen and they're tests for us. But we always have to be mindful, that the stress is inside of us. It's not outside. These things didn't cause it. We caused it by the way we are looking at these things. So breathing is good, controlling your thoughts, and all stress is really a buildup of thoughts, right? It's too many things on the shelf, it causes it to eventually collapse, which is a mental breakdown. So we gotta really focus on our thoughts and ask ask ourselves, are these thoughts that I'm having even true? Because a lot of times our thoughts aren't true, and then we got to ask ourselves, who would we be without these thoughts? And a lot of times the answer is we will be free, and this is the work, from a very special woman named Byron Katie, who kind of, showed me indirectly how to really control your thoughts and not believe your thoughts. So, yeah.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. So you've done some form of coaching or any workshops?
Never. I just I just look inside. I look outside to different people. People like Byron Katie, Stephen Mitchell. I read a lot of books, and I've learned a lot of things that have helped me directly. And I feel like, you can't help anybody else until you help yourself first. So no, I'm not even, I've never done a coaching session, any of that stuff, but I help people through the videos that I make, things that I've gone through, and I honestly and objectively look at. And I think that if we all honestly and objectively look at the things that go on inside of us, we can eventually overcome them.
Yeah, you're right. And I feel that you actually learn best by reading and then going and teaching. When you shoot your videos, like after that, that's ingrained in your mind a little deeper than just reading out of a book.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great. What would your advice be on letting things go?
Letting things go. Well, you just have to understand that you can't hold on to anything. The universe, that's the universal law. Nothing, it's the law of impermanence. You can't hold on to anything. It's the law of change. Everything that we see in front of us, you and I, our companies, everything that we've built, will eventually go away one day. So we have to understand that we can't hold on to anything. We don't know when these things are going to dissipate from our lives, our relationships, or, people. Anything that comes into existence will eventually go out of existence. Marriage is everything. So just being in alignment with that, and that will honestly give you the ability to let things go when they go easily. It's the wisdom of kind of, there's no escape from this law, and to be grounded in groundlessness is a good part, is a good way to let things go.
One of the biggest struggles for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially when they're starting out or as they're coming up, is struggling with their ego. They have this, and I think you probably experienced it in the rap game. There's a lot of the beefing going on and the rap battles and that. So what would your advice be for those that are, having trouble really getting control of their ego there?
Yeah, right. I know I still experience it. I still experience the ego. And just to be mindful of it, we got to watch our thoughts. We got to watch our thoughts. We got to watch our egos. The ego isn't necessarily a bad thing. The ego has a lot of things that are linked to survival. So just knowing that you are not your ego, is I think the key, and to be mindful. Mindfulness. Watch your thoughts. Watch yourself when you have these egoic thoughts, these thoughts of comparison, these thoughts of competition with somebody else, because these thoughts don't serve you, and they come out of that ego, so just watching it and understanding that that's not who you really are.
So what equipment do you use to film these like YouTube clips? I mean, some of them, right, are just real raw. You're sitting down and talking in front of the camera, which is good. That's really authentic, and that's what people love. You have other ones where they've got, graphics and things going on. So first of all, what do you use to just shoot the raw clips? And second, what do you do to create all the graphics and animations? Are they all outsourced?
Yeah. Well, the raw videos I shoot with a Canon T3i and a little LCD LED light. Not too much. And I just set that up on like a table. I don't even have a tripod. I just set that up and with some boxes and angle it right and just go in. The other videos, the more high quality videos, are shot by some of my friends that I've been working with for a very long time. Brandon Sloan, Dancing Shoes Production. He shoots with Black Magic Cinema and a couple other, really, really good cameras. He's very, very talented. And another friend of mine, Joseph Lombardi, he shoots with a DSLR 2 as well. I think it's a 5D, Canon 5D. Um, and as far as the graphics, that's one of my other friends, Haja Burlev, and he just does everything. I don't know what program he uses, but he does some amazing things. That's a very talented guy right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it helps if you've got a good team of people that know what they're doing on that side. I mean, because you know, sometimes you get people where they're great at content, but they have no idea how to work the technical side of things, and that can hold you back sometimes. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So you gotta network, really, right? You know, reach out to people and see who are interested
I
in
do. Yeah.
being part of your projects. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I do. And I have a baseline understanding of technology too. I think that's always good, you know, not really always relying on other people to do things for you, but to understand things yourself, you know. Like I know how to use the cameras and operate them, obviously, but they're much better than me. So I usually, I usually, you know, defer to these guys that you know have degrees and years of experience, you know, in doing this stuff. So, yeah.
Nice, man. So what do you do to spark that creativity? Do you have a certain ritual or any habits to get you into that space?
Mm. No, no. Honestly, I just have. I don't know. It just kind of comes to me, you know, things that I might be going through. You know, I decide to talk about. Things that my friends might be going through that they tell me about. I'm like, oh, that would be a good. Everybody goes through that. Let me make a video about it. You know, spoken word, that those type of topics. You know, I've got a lot of them written down already, and yeah, I don't know what does it, you know, because I can start writing on something and then stop and just not feel it, you know. Sometimes I don't feel it, but if I do feel it, then I'm just gonna go all in, you know. So I don't know. I think it might come from some other force, some other type of energy. That's what Michael Jackson said. Michael Jackson was asked, how do you come up with these melodies and these great songs? He said, I don't know. I don't know. It just comes from above, you know, the energy above, and you just got to go with it. So that's kind of that's kind of what I do.
It's all energy, man. It's all energy. You know, it's even when you're talking about money too. Money's energy, right? You put
Mm.
that energy into something, you get some energy back.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, you
Exactly.
got it. So you look like you live in the gym, bro. What's your little workout secrets for the rest of us?
Oh man, you know, I'm in and out of the gym now, but I'm getting back. I'm getting back in. You know, diet is very important. Diet is about 80%. You want to see some changes in the way you look. You gotta really do it in the kitchen. You know, abs are made in the kitchen, right? Not the gym. But as far as my secrets, again, it's consistency. You know, I have my own story about working out. You know, I always would work out, and then stop, and then stop. You know, I thought, where could I be if I just continued, if I was just consistent? Because working out is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Where would I be if I was consistent? And I was consistent for about 2 years, 1.5, 2 years, and you know, I saw a lot of growth and improvement. My health, my mind state. So yeah, it's really just consistency and slowing things down, being on a schedule and eating right.
Yeah, no, they're great points, man. They're great points. And what's funny is, I've been studying a lot into the art of creating successful habits, right? And they did a study where there's like 1,000 wealthy people, and they asked them a bunch of questions, and they found that with their habits, they had created these three cornerstone habits. One of them is building your network, like, you know, connecting with the right people as often as possible. The second one was reading and learning as much as they can. So at least reading for an hour a day or listening to an audio or a podcast a day. And the third thing was having at least 20 to 30 minutes exercise at least 5 times a week. And this is the most common one. This is like the number one. And it's funny because like
Yeah.
when your body's fine tuned, your
Yeah.
mind's in the
Yeah.
right place too, right?
Health is what is wealth without
Yeah.
health? You know, you got $1 billion, you know, you can't do anything if you don't feel well. You know, so health is very important. You know, these bodies are vehicles to experience reality. You know, we shouldn't worship the body, but we should take care of them like we take care of our cars. You know, we gotta make sure it's in running order and we get the most out of it. So it's very important.
Yeah, you got that right, man. Over the years, have you ever come across somebody who has given you amazing advice? Like, what's the best advice that you've ever received from someone in your life?
Well, you know, my dad told me lead by, you know, very common, lead by example. You know, lead by example. We have to be an example for them in our own lives, you know, and work on ourselves first. You know, in the airplane, you get on the airplane, what do they say? They say if the, you know, the oxygen mask come down, put one on yourself before you put one on somebody else. You know, so you gotta take care of yourself first. You can't fix anything until you fix what's inside of you, you know. Another piece of wisdom I got recently from I don't I guess you can call her a spiritual teacher, Gangaji. She said, you know, give up enlightenment and give up unenlightenment. You know, what does that mean? You know, it means just be. And it's very deep. It's deeper than I mean, that takes some inquiry. You know, people just hearing that right now on the, you know, on the podcast, you know, it takes some inquiry. Give up enlightenment and give up unenlightenment. You're already there. I always say enlightenment isn't in attaining truths. It's in removing lies. You know, when you get to that state of emptiness and you know, you get to be you. So I think that was another piece of wisdom that I got last week. But yeah, my dad he's always giving me great wisdom. So yeah.
Nice, that's top-notch advice. Thanks for sharing that with us. Beautiful.
No problem. No problem.
So, what books would you recommend? Like, what are your top 3 books on self-development?
Mm, wow, wow. What's funny is like an hour ago I just posted my entire audio collection on Facebook. But that's an interesting question. Uh, I think The Art of Communication, Thich Nhat Hanh is very good. You know, very good, and because we inhabit this world, right, through our communication, through our body language, through our words, you know. And so I think that book could definitely help relationships and also communicating with yourself. So The Art of Communication is one by Thich Nhat Hanh. Oh my goodness. Let's see other books. I think The Tao is a great book. Lao Tzu, ancient book. The Tao Te Ching, Book of the Way. That's a good one. And let's see. It's another one called the 5 Secrets You Must Discover Before You Die. That's another good one. Basically, that's John Izzo. It's based on he does studies of elderly people, you know, to see, you know, what are their regrets, you know, how did they live and how would they advise us, you know, young people to live. So that's another good one. So those I don't know if those are my top 3, but those are the 3 that come to mind right now.
Usually they're the ones that you found a lot of quality advice, or it had some form of impact in you when they come off the top of your head. So awesome, we'll run with that, man. I'll put a list of those books up for the viewers, and you know, those that visit your article on Addicted to Success. Beautiful, man, beautiful. And what's one of your favorite quotes?
What's funny, man, is my entire room, my bedroom has quotes all over the wall, so I can just look up.
Hey, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. Here's a quote right here. The Roman philosopher Seneca, he said, "We should count each day as a separate life. Each day is not a step on the way to a destination. It is the destination. Do not squander the moment by living in the past or the future. The future has one real power: to steal joy. You can't know what's going to happen, and you can't do anything about the past." You know, that's a great quote. You know, you gotta be here now, because now is really all that we have, all that we know we have for sure. Never know when you're gonna see your last sunset, so we'll go with that one.
Wow, I love that, man. I love it. And you know what's funny, actually? I was reading Seneca's book, would have been for a month ago, and it was called Seneca, The Shortness of Life. You should read that. You should pick that up if you get a chance. And he, yeah, it's just like a bunch of eye openers. It really keeps your mind open to the idea of, you know, at the end of the day, we're mortal, you know. So we really need to, you know, move on things with haste and take the action when needed. So no, that's I love that, man. That's an awesome quote.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm gonna check that book out too.
Yeah, Seneca, The Shortness of Life. It's like $2 or something like that on Amazon. It's like a classic.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah. Read through it, man. Read through it. I love reading a lot of philosophy, you know, ancient philosophy, because some of the messages that you can pull from those books, they're incredible, man. They're things that people aren't even saying nowadays. You know, the stuff that's out there, there's a lot of really watered down things, but the stuff from back in the day, oh man,
Yeah.
those guys were living in a hard world. I tell you that. You know, like the Spartans and you know, the Spartans, they were living in tough times, man. So yeah, take advice from those guys.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, man. Awesome. All right, so we're wrapping things up, and the last question that we always leave, you know, with our listeners is, for you, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that 30 seconds sound like?
It's pretty much reiterating the Seneca quote. You know, it's just to really just be here now. Your dreams are possible. Life is not meant to be suffered through. It's meant to be lived. It's meant to be enjoyed. You know, forget about the past. You know, forget about the future. The present moment is all we have. It's so precious, and you know, I breathe in right now. You know, I'm never gonna get that breath back. You know, I have to be here now. You know, they say the average person dies at 25, but is buried at 75. You know, we can't allow this negative world to win, to get to us, you know. So quote goes, you know, go, as the old quote says, you know, go, do not go where there's how's it go? It says go, hold on one second. Do not go where the path may lead, but go where there's no path and leave a trail. You know, we have to be ambitious. We have to be ambitious about life and our own existences. You know, I never wanted to live a life that somebody else had already lived. What's the fun in that? You know, what's the real fun? You know, explore and do. Like, we haven't been here on this planet as a human species for very long. There's so many opportunities that have yet to be discovered. You know, and I think those discoveries and those ideas, they're inside of us, and we just have to let it out, you know. So if everybody looks in themselves, they can really find that peace and find that purpose. That's it. It was like a minute though, right?
Wonderful. Yeah, that's cool. We can make that one the minute and 30 speech.
All right, cool. Man.
You got a lot of wisdom, so we can let you have that one.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Prince EA. How can we check you out? Apart from your YouTube videos, your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Check me out on Facebook, you know, facebook.com/Prince EA Hip Hop. And Twitter is just /Prince EA, and that's pretty much it. PrinceEA.com as well, and that's it. You if you got Google, you'll know how to find me.